Welcome back to Dynasty Football Maniacs. Wow. Week 14's over, so most all you leagues have done completed, and you're into the fantasy playoffs. Some of you made it, some of you didn't. I know I used to have like 12 leagues. This year I went down to nine because a couple leagues kind of dissolved. And out of them nine leagues, I made three playoffs. Six leagues, I'm nowhere in sight. But now one of the leagues don't even have a playoff. It's a elimination league, so that one don't count. I got eliminated midway through the season this year, so didn't do too hot in it. So yeah, that one don't. Well, I mean, I didn't make it to the end, so I didn't make it to the playoffs. I didn't make it there. But I got three fighting teams in there. I got one that is in a dynasty stack 'em league kind of thing, and then the other one I missed the playoffs by one game. It happens in a dynasty. But in my redrafts, they did pretty good. Most of them that I made are in redrafts. But funny thing is if you look at my redrafts and compared to my dynasty, they're almost identical teams, other than the defense have changed and a few players here and there, but not major players. So you can tell who I like. that's,
Yeah.
that's a positive thing. Except if it's in an older dynasty league where I'm drafting rookies and I got snubbed on who I would want to have on my
Well,
team.
okay.
But how did you do this year? How did you fare? How many teams did you get in? About three, four?
Well, yeah. Uh, from the leagues that I'm paying attention to, actually, and stuff, I'm in two,
Two?
one in Dynasty and another one in a redraft.
Ooh. Well, wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you don't have to go up against the master right here. I mean,
You?
just
You ain't in neither one of these playoffs,
I
brother.
I know.
Maybe you might be talking to the other teams in
Well,
your
I
other
was just
league.
saying, I was just trying to get the show excited. They might
Oh,
see
that's
now. I'm looking at the screen and I'm gonna tell you how messed up I am right now. And then I'm not on alcohol or drugs. You might think so. I just had one of them days. But I'm sitting there looking at this curtain and I'm thinking it's part of my screen. And then I realize it's your screen, not my screen. I'm like, where did that curtain come from? I was fixing to turn around and look. I was like, I don't remember that hanging behind me. I need to double check. So,
no,
but then I dawned on me that's part of your screen. I'm like, ooh, I know
no.
I've been out. Like, let me tell you, this day has been like unfolding as like one of them days you wake up and you just want a new beginning. The new
Yeah.
beginning hasn't started yet. So,
Yeah, I completely understand that.
let's see here. So, I'll tell you what a good game was, and that was Thursday night. If anybody watched the Lions and the Green Bay Packers, that was a good game.
Oh yeah.
That was downright. And that game made me look good in a lot of fantasy leagues. But on Sunday night, all that got shut up real quick, like, and you broke my heart. But we won't talk about that either. Uh, so yeah, the Lions skimped by the Packers. Oh, I think we both predicted that. The
hmm
Eagles got by the Panthers. We both predicted that. Um, the shocker was, I believe, did we pick Jaguars over Titans? I can't remember. Don't think we did.
I no, I actually chose the Titans over the Jaguars.
I think we both did. So
Yeah, I know I did.
let me double check mine real quick here. Excuse me, folks. I got to look up my beautiful app, and I got screensavers and Google going at the same time. I don't know what I was trying to search. That don't look right.
Mm.
Yep. I'm glad my phone ain't on display. I'm just kidding. It's nothing. Mic over. Shit. All right, let's see here. Uh, God, I can't even find the damn app. Oh, there it is. ESPN just wants to hide on me. I think I got this mic too high. It's like covering my whole face. I have to move it out of the way. Man, I even lost the ESPN league. I haven't lost a game in that league in a while. Is that the league?
Wait,
One of the leagues you made it in?
no, I actually made it in the Yahoo League.
Oh, okay.
That was the redraft league I made it in.
Oh, this is
I barely missed the sixth seed in the ESPN league.
yeah. See, I made it in the ESPN league. I think. Hold on. Can't tell. Nope, I was eliminated. That was the one I missed it by just a hair shy.
Okay.
Yeah, because it says here I got an E, not an acceptance. E doesn't mind. E doesn't represent that I got in. It says E, eliminated from playoffs. So I definitely didn't get in.
It's okay. You can sit on the couch with me.
No, that's fine. I didn't want to look at that app anyways. I wanted to look at the other app on there. Oh, game. Oh, the ESPN one had the college games, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the
Oh, I'm on.
ESPN does.
Yeah, I was in the wrong app. That's why I'm like lost for because the college season ended. I was like, where did my app go?
Yeah, well, there is that we got to do the Capital One Bowl Mania picks.
Yeah, I gotta get that. I didn't even download it, to be honest with you.
Well,
Uh,
it's not that difficult. It's only ESPN one, kind of like what we did all year.
yeah.
It's in the
When we
same
get
section. All you gotta do is just hop in on the group real quick and the very first one, and then we can just do it. Next year we can do it where it's just me and you.
right. So on the Jaguars, I picked Tennessee Titans. Yeah, I got that wrong.
Yeah, I did too. So
Yeah, we both I think went for the Dolphins, which they won. Um Vikings and the Falcons, I think we disagreed with. I was on the Falcon side and you were on the Minnesota side, correct?
boy, was I.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, did you? But technically, you won by point spread, so there you go.
I did win by the
Yep.
point spread,
Yeah.
and I won the pick. So
Yeah. The Vikings took that by a long shot, didn't they?
that was definitely.
Yeah. So normal thing. I mean, what a week last week. Superman couldn't pull it through. The Rams did. I was not expecting that. I thought for sure he'd pull it off.
That was a high scoring game.
Yeah. I think they forgot to bring the offense for the Bears. I believe they left them in Chicago, or did they play at Chicago?
No, no, they just ran into the 49ers.
No, they didn't run into the 49ers. They forgot to board the plane to come to play the 49ers.
No, they like literally ran into the 49ers. That's the reason why they didn't score much.
Oh, I was trying to be nicer. You're going to be rough about it.
Oh
Did,
man, I'm gonna call a spade here.
yeah. So did you watch the cartoon version of the Bengals and the Cowboys, or did you watch the real version?
I will watch the real version.
What's wrong with you? What? Lisa Simpson ran in a touchdown. Come on.
Okay, well, good for her.
She was actually
I don't,
Jamar Chase. It was
I
Jamar
don't,
Chase running the touchdown.
I was just more worried about my fantasy players. I
Oh.
didn't draft Lisa in the fantasy draft, so I apologize for that.
So let's talk about fantasy players last week. Let's see here. Week 14, the top scorer, without looking, who do you have scoring the top out of the offensive side?
Is it Jamar Chase?
No.
Hmm.
Jamar Chase came in second with 47.
Was it Josh Allen?
Yes, it was. It was a quarterback, Josh Allen.
Okay. Well,
So
that
this
was my
whole what we
bad
had
there.
last week was total difference than what you see in week 13. You got Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Puka Nuka come finally back up there. Jordan Addison for Minnesota. Wow, come on, baby. And Zach Cabernet for Seahawks. Yes, I sat you on the bench because I didn't think you'd play. Why did you play? Where did I get that wrong information? Uh,
What, you didn't see where they ruled out Kenneth Walker?
I, I missed it because I didn't
Oh,
put him on.
that makes sense. I mean, I missed a couple of things too, so
Yeah. So I mean, Justin Jefferson was on down there at 32, so that's not too bad. On the
yeah, but
defensive side,
where did I'm really curious. Where did Jordan Addison finish?
Jordan Addison was number 4.
Okay. I knew he blew up on my fantasy team. He made me
Justin
very
Bet
happy.
Justin Jefferson was 9 for week 13 only. We're only talking about week 13 or 14. Ugh.
Yeah.
Numbers, they matter.
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked about
Yeah.
Jor yeah, Jordan Addison since he blew up like a lot.
Yeah, so them numbers actually boosted Josh Allen up in the rankings where he was sitting behind the great Barkley. He
Hmm.
pushed Barkley down to 4 and moved up to the number 3 spot in Barkley. Jamar Chase is still holding clear and tight overall. Number 2 is top scorer.
Clear and tight.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's about, I'd say, an estimated 4 points away from Lamar Jackson. So that's pretty impressive. Lamar Jackson's averaging about 24.7 in PPR, and Jamar Chase is averaging 24.4. Pretty impressive. I don't care. And then right down below, they're just like 1 point difference. I mean, Josh Allen and Barkley are both 23.4, and then Barkley's 23.1. And then you have like a 2 or 3 point drop when you hit Joe Burrow, which is
Hmm.
your number 5th guy. And then number 6, the great, the one and only, the Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Um,
Hmm.
I am still a secret Houston Texan fan. Don't think I threw my pajamas away. I still have them. Uh,
Hmm.
Jaden Daniels, still rocking it out. What a rookie. What a rookie season. Just great. And then Baker Mayfield, still up in the top 10. Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara are still hanging in there, but they're slowly dropping out and then finishing out the top 10, going into 11. We talked about him last week. He's in there. He's out there. He's right there. He's Bijan Robinson with Atlanta. So he's still throwing out them points. And another miracle comeback that was kind of dropping low in the ratings, but he had a couple last good games, and that's Sam Arnold coming in at 12. So looks pretty good. I mean, your top Justin Jefferson is 12, 13, 14. So that's really not bad. We predicted in Houston if they would have stayed healthy, Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins would be up there right now. The problem is neither one of them stayed healthy this year. They went through injuries. Justin Jefferson kind of had his issues, but as time grew, the way Sam Arnold played, it is what we see. Now, are you shocked that Daniel Jones is playing on the practice team for the Minnesota Vikings?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I
I
mean, yeah,
said everybody was making a big deal about him going to the Vikings. I said he's no more than a Mac Jones, and I hate to say that about Mac Jones, but that's where he's at. I
I
mean,
think I think if Sam Darnold gets hurt, I think they'll probably elevate him then. But other than that,
well, there's nothing behind him to help him, so they would have to elevate him. Nothing against the other quarterbacks in the room. We've went through that cycle and seen what that cycle looks like. It's horrifying, especially for a Minnesota fan. I mean, they'd want to grab that guy off the practice team. That's why they had to let go of a guy to get him on a practice team. No, we don't want to resort to Daniel Jones. And no, Daniel Jones probably ain't going to be their hero and savior. But considering the room they have currently, I honestly think he'd do a better job. But not as a head quarterback, as a backup quarterback. Let's get that straight. I don't want someone to misinterpret what I just said and say, did he just say Daniel Jones is better than Sam Arnold? No, I did not.
yeah, I don't think you're definitely saying that after last week.
No, not after last week. And if I did, shame on me. Um, Yeah, so I mean, and then looking at, I don't have a list today with the defense and offensive players put together, but I can still tell you overall who's the top. And actually, I'm gonna say I have no clue what I see. I sat here and said that I didn't think Sleeper did it, but then I just realized Sleeper did do it. So let me go back to all. Okay, they do rank them all. Okay, I'm sorry, Sleeper. I apologize that you do what I want you to do. Thank you. So, one, two, three, four, five, six, seventh player last week, which was This is a new name for me. Played for San Francisco. Gross Matos scored 35 points in week 13 and week 14. He was up there with the offensive players, which is very impressive. So seasonal, I'll be able to see. So when I look at the seasonal now on there, Zach Bond is now moved back up into the top 10. And Zaire Franklin sitting out. So now I do have a whole list of defense and offense. And now that's impressive because you got Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Barkley, Burrow, Hurts, and Zach Vaughn for the Eagles as linebacker. And then Baker Mayfield, then Jaden Daniels, and then Zaire Franklin. So that
Hmm.
changes the whole order right there by putting the defensive players in there. So a minute ago when I did that, I didn't see that. But then again, I mean, well, yeah, I'm not always my eyesight ain't always good either. So I didn't play Zach Charbonnet this week. Tells you what I'm looking at. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, so that's pretty impressive right there. So looking at that rankings, that right there is wow. You know, you got two defensive guys in the top 20. That's impressive all day long. Well, no, three because you got Bubba Baker up there in the top 20. You got Van Kinkel also in the top 20. Then it's kind of now going out of the top 20. So there's like a group of defensive players right behind Kinkel. You got Cross, Dean, and then Jamar Gibbs, and then Bo Nix. So yeah, and then Justin Jefferson. So it pushes Justin Jefferson down just a little bit further. That's pretty impressive.
Hmm.
Um, so now we're going into next week. This is week 15 playoffs. So the teams that made it, most leagues have like a college, like a another round consolation prize. I couldn't come up with the word, or the toilet bowl, or the great avenue of a loser, whatever you want to call it. We represent ours as a toilet bowl because it's just ideal that if you're in that bottom six, that's what you are. Just face it. Uh, if you're in the top six, you're a shiny little star. There you go. If
That
you
can
got there,
fall at any moment.
huh?
That can fall at any moment.
Yeah, that shiny star can fall. And the way I've always ran the league is at this point in time when the season ends, whatever the finishing is the bottom six stays that way. The top is now fighting for position where they're going to draft at because they're not really fighting where they're going to draft at because if you finish first, you're drafting last. But mainly they're trying to win money or the prize. So the positioning is going to change. It's like your first place could be technically sixth place at the end of the year. That sixth guy could win first. Don't usually happen that way, just like in the real world. You never have too many Cinderella stories. It's always the guy at the top that wins it all. Um, Next week there is no bye week for anybody. Nobody's on bye. So the first playoff game is going to be exciting. I don't think they have any kind of bye weeks after last week, do they?
No,
Everybody,
last week.
yeah,
Last week
last
was the
week was
last week.
last week 14 is the last bye week. So moving forward, you got a full slate. Um, so let's open up our little apps here and go through that full slate and see what that looks like. Week 15. We're going to start with the great Thursday night. We got two powerhouses from the West Coast battling it out. Two greatnesses falling on the
Hmm.
field. One that will drop the ball and lose it all. The other one could possibly win it all, and that's the Rams. Um, I have no hope for the 49ers anymore. So, Rams, go Rams.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. So I'm definitely gonna have to go with the Rams on that one.
All right. So, the next game, another exciting, tantalizing game. And if you're not tuned in on this game, what are you doing on the weekend? On Sunday at 12 p.m. on we can't name the channel. Uh, you got Dallas and Carolina Panthers. I mean, this is going to be a battle fest, heated game, but Cooper Rush is going to pull it off, or whoever the quarterback is for Dallas, and I'm going to give it Dallas. Did I name the right quarterback?
Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah,
I bel
Cooper Rush.
yeah, I believe he'll do a good job. I think they'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty decent with his offense. So I do think they I don't know. I don't know. Bryce Young and them, they've been playing in some really close games lately. So you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I'm still gonna have to go with Dallas on it though.
Now, here's our first upset for the week. Yes,
Shh.
I'm going to say it.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're wrong.
I think
With the powers of Taylor Swift's Christ
I
and
know, but
the
she's
followers
banned.
of the
They don't
rest.
want her in Cleveland. They're not allowing her in the stadium.
Yes, they will.
No,
You
Taylor.
know Travis Kelsey is from Ohio.
I know. All right, I'll give it to the Kansas City Chiefs, even though I want to choke on that one.
Well, until somebody can stop all the odds against them, it will always be the Chiefs.
All right, let's go back to the real world now. Texans against the Dolphins. I'm gonna go with Texans.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Texans too. But if they don't stop John Smith from going off, they're gonna have a long day.
That is true. Jaguars against the Jets. I believe Trevor Lawrence is still out. I'll have to look. Um, hold on, let's bring that up. Let's see if he's still listed out. Trevor Lawrence. Yes, he is still on IR. So that means your starter is going to be Mac Jones again. Well, he's not been doing too bad. I picked him up in one league. I mean, he scores me some points. It ain't like it's going to be all star, get out. But
He's more of a streaming guy.
yeah, I just I just figured he had some connections there. Things would change, but it didn't. But here we go. Uh, Out of the Jets and the Jaguars, um, I will have to go with the Jets. I'm gonna pick the Jets.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Grumpy R. Rogers.
Rodgers is fixing to retire, guys. I'm telling you. All right, the next good great battle. I think the Saints are finally pulling some of their stuff together, but maybe not completely together. Because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, I think Washington's going to run the world.
yeah, but Derek Carr is probably gonna miss the rest of the year,
Yes,
and that offense looks pretty gross without him on that field. So
we.
I'm gonna have to go with the
Yeah, I was really
Commanders.
hoping, and I know that was a far reach hope, and it was a far grasp of saying that someone that far down or that one unexpected would do that. But I was really wanting Spencer Rattler to just take off. And, he never
He,
could get any footing to do
he had
anything.
his moment.
And he blew it. Uh, didn't just blow it once, he blew it a few times. It's like you could blow it once and maybe recover a second time. It's like he blew it several times. And no, I didn't end the sentence with load, so that's perfectly fine.
You just ruined it.
Oh,
You could have just left it alone.
no, it was in my head after that when I realized.
You could have just left it alone.
Uh, Baltimore against the Giants. Oh my God, Baltimore.
Yeah. Speaking of loads,
There's a lot over
I
there.
I'm definitely going with Baltimore on this one.
Okay. The Bengals and the Titans. I'm gonna have to say the hot Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow will tear that world up.
Jamar Chase is my number one guy
Yeah, I
on my
hate it.
dynasty, so I'm definitely going with the Bengals.
I traded him away to someone, and now I was kind of sitting back thinking, maybe I should.
Why would you do such a thing?
Because me, I'm doing things. I do things. I
Sometimes
why?
sometimes you do too much things.
But it was all about getting Marvin Harris.
Yeah, and I hate saying this, but I mean, who would you rather have at this moment right now?
I think I'll take a Chase, and then a Marvin as a backup.
Okay, I mean,
Love you, Marvin. Still my Ohio State guy, but in reality, I would have to touch the Chase. Uh, the Patriots against um, Arizona. I will go with Arizona.
I think the Patriots are going to make this a pretty close game, but I think the Cardinals get back on track and win this one.
All right. So now
Well,
we're looking.
this ought to be a fun one.
Yeah. Now we're looking at Indianapolis versus the Broncos. And I honestly, when I seen that game pop up, I mean, life is life, and Bo Nix is fire. I'm gonna have to stick with Bob. I just don't see that defense capable of stopping them. Anthony
Right.
Richardson will be their hope, but then he also could be their failure. And
Well,
Jonathan Taylor has not stepped off and really done anything.
well, that's a lot of times it's because they rely on Anthony Richardson's running.
But
That's really been the killer for Jonathan Taylor.
and that is a problem because Jonathan Taylor's a good runner. If you start relying on him, he made a big impact to that team before. But you had a quarterback that could throw. So
But I will say if Anthony Richardson surprises us and has a really good fantasy day, like they don't even have to win. I'm just saying if he has a really good fantasy day like he has the past couple of weeks, then I'm gonna start believing, especially against this defense. But I'm the offense. I know they came off a bye. They both teams actually came off a bye, but I'm gonna have to go with Denver on this one. I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton's got something cooking down there.
yeah, I think Sean Payton's happy with what he's putting together. Um, and I thought it was a crazy. I mean, he got there, and I thought, well, okay, he's got Russell Wilson, he's got this whole group. He's like really, literally revamping not just the quarterback, but the whole rushing crew, the whole wide receiver crew, the
Well, they're
defensive
all
crew.
well. Most of them are young,
Yeah, that's
except
what he's
for a few here
developing.
and there.
Yeah. The next good game, and this is going to be a powerhouse game, and it could go either way. You got the Buffalo Bills against Detroit. Um, it's going to be fire that day. It's going to be lit. Both defenses are going to be slinging. Both defenses are top notch. Both offenses are just explosive. Um, I'm going to lean with the favorite on the Vegas odds. I'm going to take the Bills. Um, oh, I don't know. They're playing at Detroit. That might be dangerous to take the Bills at Detroit. I mean,
I'm I'm still going with Detroit.
you know,
They're they're really they're
yeah,
really damn good.
and they're playing at home. I'm gonna go with Detroit. I'm not gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna take that away. I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think they're firing on all cylinders. They got this. They don't have the Patrick Mahomes touch or the Kansas City's grace. They win games just by toughness and playing. You understand that, guys? That's the difference between the Lions and Kansas City. Now, I think if them any of the fans at Kansas City see me on the street, they will probably take me out and shed, and you probably wouldn't see me no more. Um, I don't think they'd treat me very nicely by saying that. All right.
Well, I you know somebody is going to beat Kansas City somehow, some way. There is a kryptonite team, but we are still searching for it.
That kryptonite team is going to be in the playoffs.
Wait, who beat who beat Kansas City? Do you remember?
Oh God, I'd have to go look. Let me see.
So far, that's their kryptonite.
I want to say it was Cleveland. Let
No way. I'm
me
gonna
see.
laugh so hard if it is.
I'll tell you in a minute. Nope, the Bills. The Bills beat them.
The Bills are the Chiefs' kryptonite. Then
They beat them 30-21.
Yep, they are definitely their
Ooh.
kryptonite.
And that was a few games back. That was like 3, 4 games back. Oh wow! It was at the Bills too. They were at the Bills Stadium.
Hmm. Let's talk about this other good game though. This one you should be fun with.
Oh yeah, it's the Battle of PA, Pennsylvania. You guys didn't know what PA stood for. I figure I'd be helpful. Pennsylvania.
Pasta.
Uh, shit. Wow. Uh, wow. What happened to my score thing? Oh boy, I hit the wrong button and got a whole different look. I didn't even know you can get that look. Um, yeah. So on that game right there, I'm gonna have to stick with my favorites, my fan base. I'm not gonna go away from my fan base. Fly Eagles fly. Philadelphia will dominate that game,
Ooh.
and they will take out that them Steelers on the other half of PA over there.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna be house divided on this one because
House divide.
I'm going with Pittsburgh.
All right. So let's do an East West Coast game. We got the Los Angeles Chargers, the hardball crew, going down there touching the Baker Mayfields. Um,
I thought Baker Mayfield's were coming down to the hardball.
oh, it's the other way. They're going to touch the hardballs. Wow. I got that one wrong. Uh, I'm gonna have to. God, that's gonna be a good game too. I'm going with Tampa. I think Tampa's got it.
Yeah, I have to keep an eye on the week and Justin Herbert to see how healthy he's gonna be and stuff after this last game he played. Um, they say he's expected to be fine, but I don't think he might be playing with something sore or whatever. But I'm gonna go with Tampa on this one just because Justin Herbert is really that whole offense. In all honesty,
Yeah, so right now they're not making a big deal out of it. He said they suffered a left leg contusion on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually,
right?
what
But
happened, let me tell you what happened, guys. I was there. I seen the instant replay. Taylor
you were
Swift left the
there.
box, ran downstairs, kicked him in the shin, and then ran back upstairs. That's what
Damn,
happened.
I didn't realize we had boots on the ground.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was wondering where our money went.
Yeah, that's where our money went. Well, I didn't get paid last month. Why?
Yeah, look, man. All you had to do is just ask.
uh, yeah, they don't expect it to be a big thing. No, Taylor Swift didn't even kick the guy in the leg, so I made that completely up. So don't take that and run with it. People start reporting that out. They're like, "Oh
All it
wow,
is, you know, the true, the true connoisseurs will understand what you were going for.
yes." So the next game's easy to pick. I mean, we can't argue about this one, or we can. Actually, no, it ain't easy to pick. Jesus, it's got to even be harder. Green Bay against Seattle. Mm. Both teams that could be fire and also a dumpster fire.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay because Seattle makes too many mistakes. They've
You
been making
know,
a lot of mistakes lately, and that bothers me.
yeah, but then they also, when they don't make mistakes, they look so good.
Yeah, but how many teams have made this many mistakes? I have watched all the games this year. I have seen at least three or four uh, either fumbles or turnovers or something going on that's wonky
Yeah,
with the
you're
Seahawks, and that causes heartburn and stuff. And you need to take medicine if you're going to watch that team. Just throwing it out there for everybody. Um, but I'm going to have to go with Green Bay on this one.
all right. I'll have to agree with you, Green Bay. Uh, the next
Oh man,
one,
this
dumpster
is really.
fire against the hot fire. So the hot fire will
Oh,
win.
we got two Monday night games this week.
Yes, we did. Two horrible Monday night games. One is where Chicago shows up and tries to win against Minnesota. It doesn't happen. Minnesota wins. The next one, Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, Falcons. I almost thought I said Atlanta Braves. I had to rethink
The
what I was
wrong
going to say.
sport.
Yeah, wrong sport. They hit a home run and a touchdown in the same game. Uh, I'm gonna have to go with yeah, Atlanta over the Raiders. I just don't see the Raiders pulling that
I
off.
will go ahead and tell you that I will be watching the Vikings game more because I have more fantasy players involved in that game than I do the Atlanta and Raiders game.
Right, and one of mine is Bijan that's I made it in the playoffs, so I'll definitely be watching Atlanta.
Do you think
Uh,
Kirk Cousins will throw 4 interceptions against the Raiders?
no, I do not. uh, how many combined total points do you think Atlanta and Las Vegas will have?
I'm going. I'm going 36.
I'm going 40. All right, so
Hmm.
that's gonna take care of that. Now, there's not much talk about the next week for college because the next week, this
Well,
weekend, today,
is that
today, you got Army and Navy, and hands down, Army's going to win this. I do not see Navy pulling that oomph up to upset Army. Army's had a dominated season. They did great. They even won their championship, conference championship. Good pick. Um, so I don't see them losing.
yeah? Is there anything you would like to get off your chest from the bracket?
I am fine with the bracket. I don't disagree with it. I This is my argument. Everybody's complaining that certain teams shouldn't be in there and some teams should have been let in there. I look at it like this. Each team controlled their destiny. If Alabama had lost to just Georgia, Tennessee, bigger name schools, or just had two losses, there'd be no reason to keep them out. My complaint is they lost to Vanderbilt and a team that was less than 500, Oklahoma. And the other loss was to one of the top teams. Um, at the end of the day, I look at it like this. If they had not lost that Oklahoma game, yes, they deserve to be in there over SMU. Now, if SMU would have got blown out by Clemson, I don't think they should have even considered SMU in the game. But SMU had a good comeback. SMU has had a good season. The ACC is not ranked like the SEC. They played their conference schedule and did good. And then the comment comes out, oh, we got to schedule lighter outside games. Alabama, you didn't lose any of your outside games. You only lost your internal games. So what? You're not going to schedule Vanderbilt? You're not going to schedule Oklahoma?
Well,
Get
newsflash,
real.
they don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. So if you can't beat them two teams, don't go crying about, oh, we're ranked this on the schedule strength. Your conference overall is ranked higher than the ACC. So is the Big Ten. The Big 12 is ranked less than the ACC. That's why you only see one Big 12 team in the playoffs. Now, I honestly believe if the independent team, Notre Dame, hadn't had a great season, and really I kind of debate, well, they had their good part. They did beat an SEC team and a good one. They beat Texas A&M. So they started off great. Then they lost to a non-power five school, which can happen to anybody. Everybody makes a misstep. It's okay, Alabama, if you lose to just Vanderbilt. That's not a big deal. But you lost 3 games. You controlled your destiny.
Hey, it's a big deal for Vandy.
Oh yeah, big deal for Randy. Great for Vandy. Great for Oklahoma. Let's not leave. Yeah, but Oklahoma has this big name, and everybody loves Oklahoma. And Oklahoma actually has a pretty good defense. It's just the offense couldn't do nothing, and they can't win games. So
Oh,
they struggled through their whole introduction to the SEC. Texas, on the other hand, did not have the toughest schedule as everybody said they did. Yes, Ohio State lost to Michigan. Texas beat Michigan. Ohio State has a rivalry. I have watched Alabama just like slaughtered other teams throughout the season, and they go to Auburn and they just have one mistake, and Auburn wins, and Auburn wasn't even nearly ranked. When you go to that kind of atmosphere, it's different. For some reason, Ryan Day is having his issue. He can't get over that one hurdle. Oregon was a close loss. We also had a lot of field goal misses, but that's still no excuses. We still had 2 losses, and to me, I think Ohio State was a better team than that. And I also believe Alabama was a better team than that. But then missteps got you and put you where you're at. So if Ohio State complains that they didn't make it to the Big Ten, well, you made your bed. You got to lie in it. You didn't get there, but you had a good enough record to keep in the new 12-game playoff. Um, you can argue a lot of facts about strength of schedule across the board. Strength of schedule is based on a computer statistics. At the end of the day, that strength of schedule flips. It flips constantly. It moves. It's not a steady target. If people think it is, the only reason it's been steady for several years is because of the dominancy that the SEC has done for 10 years straight. There was a time when the SEC was not thought of as that, when Oklahoma, Kansas, and all these other big schools were top dogs because they won constantly. There's decades where you don't see the dominant. There was a time they are, but now the last game wasn't. It was Michigan. If this year it's a Big Ten again, it's going to start. Oh, getting excited. It's going to start going a different direction. But that doesn't mean the Big Ten is going to be the new one because it's too new to say that. We don't know. So to sit there and cry and say, I didn't make the playoffs, shame on you. Because if you had lost to an outside school that was ranked and it was a tough schedule, I would agree with you. But I still think Florida State was shafted last year. And I also thought a lot of it, the committee was looking at this. If Georgia would have lost to Texas, there could have been a good argument that Alabama went in and Georgia sat out because it would be 2, 3 losses. One of them teams was going to get in. And the reason why I said Alabama would get in is they're still hot. They're not that bad. And Georgia had their chance and they blew it, but that didn't happen. Georgia was able to handle Texas, deal with it, win it, even with a broke quarterback. That you hear these Florida State guys crying now. Oh my God, their quarterback got hurt. They shouldn't be getting in. Georgia only has 2 losses. They won the SEC. That is probably the toughest conference out there to win right now. The Big Ten is tough,
Yeah,
yes,
but the
but it's top
backup.
heavy.
Yeah, but the difference between Florida State and Georgia, the backup for Georgia actually won the game for them.
That's true. Their backup couldn't do nothing. So there is
Hmm.
a difference. You have a good point there. So to sit there and cry about little things like that, yes. Is the seating perfect? No. Do I think they need to improve the seating? Maybe. Do I think they have it set right now? I think if you're a conference
It's
champion,
a
you're
work in progress. I mean,
yeah,
this is just the first year of doing this.
right. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for my team to win. I'm excited that all these teams are in there to play. I'm excited. I wish I could watch every game. I mean, I want to watch them all. This is the first time I can say I could turn on a weekend and say there's not a game I don't want to watch. I mean, do you imagine the lineup compared to what we've had in the past? Even I don't think people sat back and look at the championship games. Okay, in the past, when you had the divisions, you'd always get this lopsided championship game. It drive you nuts. You get a team to go in there and they blow out the other team 50-3. And you're like, oh my God, why did I watch this? This just hurts my head. Um, this year, it's like every conference champion was down to the wire. It wasn't like you could say who was going to win that in the last 5 minutes of the game. It could go either way. And that is the greatness about the new lineup, I think. It is now matching the best of the best to the best. I do never, ever think you should ever eliminate the best from the best. Like there's times Ohio State got eliminated from certain games due to the fact they just lost to Michigan. That was the only loss they had. But at the end of the day, they still lost. So you can't cry about it. You just got to deal with it and go on to the next season, try to rebuild. This opportunity gives a lot of schools another opportunity to make a run for it. Now, do I think these smaller schools like Boise State, SMU, um, Notre Dame, Indiana,
But hang on, we can't with the NIL deals nowadays. We can't really say small schools anymore.
see,
These small
that's
schools,
that.
these smaller schools are actually showing up. Look at Vandy. Look at what
Yes.
Vandy has been doing. They have been going toe to toe with the top teams in the SEC.
So
They actually beat a couple.
Yeah, they went out and got a good
We can't.
quarterback from New
We gotta.
Mexico.
We have to. We have to now get over the fact that these smaller schools. We can't keep calling small schools anymore. If you got the money,
You can have the
you
team.
can have the team, and when you have the team, you'll have the money,
That
and
is,
that just grows everything.
yep.
So we need to get out of this picture of, oh, why did SMU get in? Oh, they
Yeah.
can't. They don't need to be in. They shouldn't be like that. Or how did Boise State get a bye? They shouldn't get a bye. Doesn't matter. They dominated.
Yeah.
They won their games. And here's my final thoughts on this because mine's a lot shorter than yours. But if you want to keep the committee out of it, if you want to keep all the haysayers and all that stuff, if you want to make it point blank, like you have no choice but to put it in there, win your games.
You said
Just,
it perfectly, brother. You
just,
said it
just,
perfectly.
just win your games. Don't lose. And you can say whatever you want to. Oh, it's not that easy. Blah blah blah. Look at Oregon. They won
They
all their games,
and
and
plus,
they played really good games.
yes, they did. I mean, it wasn't like a knockoffs. I mean, they went to a
No,
new
no,
conference that they
they
weren't even
played
familiar with.
they played teams in the Big Ten, and they went toe to toe with a couple of the best of them, and came out on top.
That's right.
So if you want to just hush everybody, and you just want to get the committee to be like, okay, well, there's no question about it. We're just gonna throw them in there. Just win your games,
That's
even the
right.
ones, even the ones like Vandy's and Oklahoma's and stuff. Win them. That's all you got to do.
That is correct. And I 100% agree with your statement. I like how you said it, and I'm great. And I'm excited. So, and some people go, "Are you really excited about every game?" Yes. Why would
Yeah,
you not be excited about a Clemson and a
yeah.
Texas game?
It's
That game's going to be exciting.
what? How many times does that happen?
It's not happen often.
And same thing with Tennessee and Ohio State.
Another great game.
That game has hardly happened that much.
SMU to Penn State. That's going to be a
What?
good game.
When's the last time they played each other?
I don't even know if they've even played each other. I'd have to look it up.
Ex- exactly. We should be enjoying this.
Definitely. And then Notre Dame and Indiana, I know they've had that in-state matchup before,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's
that
not been that often, and it'll be exciting to watch because Indiana has made a surprise switch. And yes, they didn't play the strongest part of the Big Ten in the beginning, but when they did finally get up to the big boys, they held their own. They didn't win it, but they held their own, and they tried. And at the end of the day, they
some,
deserved what they got because, like what you
sometimes
said, they won the game.
that's all you need.
So I'm going to leave it at that because we got another week to think about who we want to predict as winners. We don't
Hmm.
have to pick winners today for this.
Right.
This after Army and Navy game next weekend is when the first round starts for the playoffs. These are home games, so it'll be a home game at Texas. Clemson's got to go to Texas, which would be a great stadium. Tennessee, the Mountain Boys are headed over to Ohio State at the Horseshoe, which I wish I could have tickets to that game. Uh,
You'd
Penn
be,
State at
be
SMU.
forking out a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, oh wait, let me reverse that. SMU at Penn State. Got
Mm.
that backwards. And then Indiana, you're not traveling far, but north. You're in Bloomington, Notre Dame's north, but you're in the same state, so you guys are going to be local. Travel not far. And then the bye week, guys, and I totally agree with this. Yes, Boise was a better team than Clemson at the end of the day, and so was Arizona. So yes, they're ranked higher. That's why they got their bye. Oregon and Georgia, and let's go back to that Arizona State. People don't know that Arizona State has always through this whole season been in the top four for the Big 12, and it played out. And everybody, and I think Deion Sanders said it best. And just like what you said, you punch your ticket. His team didn't punch the ticket. They didn't do it. They had the opportunity and they were the ones that could have done it and they didn't do it and it gave this other team an opportunity to do it, which they did beat Colorado at the end of the day. So They deserve it. The only loss Boise State had was to Oregon.
Yeah.
They ran their schedule. They played other outside Power Five
That's
teams and won. Power
that's
Four,
the
whatever you want to call them.
that's the reason why. Look, let's be real. Pac-12's out. I think we need to just go ahead and claim the Mountain West as the new Power Five.
I agree because
Because the Pac-12 is nothing, and they were not going to start growing back until 2026.
yeah,
So I really think that the Mountain West is the new Power Five conference.
and I think
Because if you just look all across the board, you have some teams that are up and rising and are actually getting better because once again, NIL deals. And once again, we got to get out of the old school mentality. It's the new age. We need to not be a Dabo Sweeney and just say, "Oh, we're just going to stick to recruiting and grow
yeah,
from the inside." You know what? That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. But in all honesty, if you want to survive, you're going to have to hit the transfer portal on certain things here and there. I'm not saying do what Dion did and just get basically the whole roster almost a transfer, but just you got to mix in sometimes, especially to help your team out. And then again, Dabo might, if Dabo somehow they make it to the national championship and win, I will eat my words and I will never say anything about bad about them again. But I just I just think you just gotta adapt to the new world.
yeah. Well, so let's say that about Dabo for a minute. I do know I read an article not too long ago. He is going into the transfer portal now. He is getting on the NIL deal because he knows that is the change point that he has to accept. So he's finally changing his ways. So yes, I do see Clemson making a turn back to the top again.
Mm,
And I'm excited for that because I'm finally glad that he realized, hey, we got to go that. So yeah, we talked about the major playoff game rounds that week, and that's exciting. But that's also the start of the bowl week, so there'll be other games that'll be playing. So respectful fans will be watching their games, and they're all exciting games. Anything during bowl season.
I'm gonna
The interesting ones I like outside the playoff would be the Memphis, West Virginia. Um, the
I'm
other
gonna
one,
I'm gonna try to keep up with all of it, especially since we got to keep up with it on dynasty terms and all that. And we got to keep up with who's actually playing in the bowl games or not, because some players who are gonna go into the draft, they might opt out of playing it. I think that should be a rule where you should finish your season and not, opt out for the draft. But that's just my opinion. You committed to that team. I think you should at least finish that one last game for like the last hoorah,
I
and
agree.
then you go to the draft. But other than that, I'm gonna be keeping up, especially because in Dynasty, Senior Bowl and East West Shrine game is just around the corner.
Yep. And there is a lot, and I mean a lot of games played that first weekend. Like it's a ridiculous amount, and it's hard to go through them all and name them. I think another interesting bowl game, which is shocking because they're in the same conference, but they're playing in a bowl game.
That's
So
happened before.
yeah, BYU against Colorado. We're going to get to see that matchup again. Um, Another good matchup I wanted to mention that was on there was I passed it. Vanderbilt against Georgia Tech.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, that'll
I
be a
know
good one.
Oklahoma against Navy will be a good one. The one I am really keen on was the Jacksonville State because I am so proud of them winning their conference champion. They'll be playing the MAC conference champion, Ohio. So Bobcats versus, and I'm not a Bobcat fan because Ohio State fans do not really like the Bobcats. I mean, I'd be more rooting for University of Toledo over the Bobcats any day. So I hope Jacksonville walks up in there and in Orlando, Florida, Disney, and beats the living tar out of them. So I'll be excited for that.
Yeah, definitely.
That one is actually the same time frame as the That's on December the 20th. That game. Oh, these are different dates. Okay. I was about to say that's a
Yeah,
lot of games on one day.
bowl season starts the 14th.
14th and the 17th, you got a game. Then the 18th, you got a game. Yeah, there's a game throughout the whole weeks. So Friday is the Jacksonville State and the Ohio Bobcats. So that it's 11 a.m. game. So you
All,
definitely.
all I can say is I can't wait for the shutdown.
Oh, I can't either. And then Saturday is going to be the day you need to sit down and relax and enjoy yourself because you're going to have three great playoff games going on. You're going to have seven starting at 11 a.m. You're going to have SMU going in the snow. They're going to remove the snow from the Penn State Stadium, and Penn
Hmm.
State and them going to rock and roll. And then at 3 o'clock, you're going to have Clemson and Texas just hammering it out. And then the late night game, which is shocking. They're actually scheduled a 7 o'clock game at the Horseshoe during the winter. What are these guys thinking?
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
Tennessee's used to the snow.
well, yeah, no. Maybe they just thought that. They're like, who cares? We play snow in the daytime or nighttime. It's got good lighting.
I mean, hell,
And
you
and the
can't.
and the lights will reflect off the snow.
Yeah, and as long as they wear some orange, you'll see them.
Yeah, and Ohio State needs to lure their bright red so you can see them.
True.
Uh yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, Pittsburgh against Toledo. I'm excited about that game. I know it ain't gonna go in my favor, but it'll still be exciting to watch. Army got a bowl game against Marshall. So Army's not even gonna take a break. They're gonna play against Army and Navy this weekend. And then on the they got a little break because that game don't happen until what day is that? That's December the 28th. That's almost right there before New Year's Eve. So they got a little time off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Wow. So who is Alabama playing against? I didn't even see. Oh, Alabama's playing
Michigan.
against Michigan. Oh my
Yep.
God, in Tampa, Florida. Um, South Carolina against Illinois. There's going to be some good Big Ten and SEC games matchups. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Baylor against LSU. LSU, please God, all mercy in the Lord, win that game. Um, I don't know how to ask you in another way. Uh, and I'm not an SEC fan. I just feel sorry for LSU. Please win that game.
What? You feel sorry for LSU?
I
What's
don't know
wrong with
why.
you?
I don't know. I just the last couple times watching them play, I'm like, Brian Kelly, are you okay? Do you need a
No,
hug?
he's not okay. He's probably drinking right now.
Yeah, I want to give the guy a hug. I feel like he gave up the graviest job in the world to go to a nightmare. I mean, sometimes money can put you in a bad situation.
I think he found out real quick that Notre Dame and LSU are two totally different places.
Yeah, I'm wondering how he feels when he wakes up now. I
One,
know he's drinking Kulu.
one, one is one's out there, praying and doing good deeds, and the other one is out there partying, and you never know when they're gonna come back.
Yeah, so I guess the next couple of weeks, you and me are going to just kind of discuss the football games that are going on, talking about our championships, and then giving a little taste of college. And then after that, we're going to have to sit down and start putting out who we think is ranking. We might take a couple weeks break there to get that information together because you might
Or
have a.
I gotta update mine because I've kind of been falling behind a little bit on it, but I already got a mainframe of all my lists and stuff. I just gotta go back and look and do some tweaking and stuff.
Yeah, the bowl game is going to tell us a lot. I honestly starting to think that the NFL is actually starting to look at Kyle McCord. There's a lot of rumors going flying around. I'm
I
not
mean, it
saying
won't be. I mean, it won't be surprising.
he's a good
I could.
quarterback.
I could see him going in like around the third or fourth.
I'm not knocking him, and I'm not saying that he's better than the current quarterback. But honestly, if I put the two together, that Kyle McCord had a better record. I mean, yeah, he wasn't perfect every day, but even when he wasn't perfect, he was able to pull his head out of the clouds and get somewhat right.
Well, we have to be really careful about the records and stuff like that. Those can sometimes be deceiving.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I remember watching games when I was like, why the hell is he our
Wait,
quarterback?
what records are you talking about? Like passing yards he broke at the school or the
No, no,
win?
I'm talking about wins and losses.
Yeah, you have to really be careful with that.
Oh, I know. I know. But what I'm
I,
saying is,
I I know, I get what you're saying,
I'm
but
saying when I see Will Howard makes mistakes, he can't recuperate. He just literally loses it.
oh,
That's the difference I see when I watch a game. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm only seeing that because I want to believe that. I'm just saying when I see him can't connect, he can't connect. I've seen Kyle McCord go out there, can't connect, but somewhere in the game he finds the connection, and then the rest of the talent around him wins the game. This quarterback, there is times I've watched him go out, and I'm not going to name the games I'm talking about, but we could probably all figure it out. The balls were nowhere near the wide receivers. He couldn't get it steady. We have to go to rushing. We have to do all kinds of other things to try to win the game, but then our kicker can't get it. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know football, I guess.
don't don't be making fun of the Giants now.
Okay. All right. They're gonna actually draft Kyle McCord and then win the and then win the Super Bowl.
They
Um,
need a quarterback.
no, the team that needs the quarterback is Dallas, and they need a running back. First they need to get a running back, then a quarterback.
No, we need more than that.
All right. So before we sign off, you guys like our content, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I know I was looking down. I'm not reading nothing. I thought I seen something. Um, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're going to go over our top players going in next year coming soon. So be ready to tune in for that. Football season's coming to a close. Exciting times. And wish you guys all the best of luck in fantasy playoffs if you're in the playoffs. And hope you to win a championship. And if you're not in the playoffs in your last week to the playoffs, I wish you the best of luck. So there is some teams that are still playing their week on week 15, which is a different way of setting your league up. Whatever.
You should not have your championship on week 18. I'm sorry.
I mean, you have that option. So
You shouldn't.
you shouldn't. I agree.
I'm just saying. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Back in the day, we did. We used to. Back in the day when
The times have changed.
the times have changed now. Yes, we got smarter. Uh, what do you always say?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, and I'll quit venting about my favorite team and telling you about quarterbacks because I have no clue what a quarterback can do. Um, so uh, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, and keep on tuning in.